Hello guys, so today we are going to see how to change the capacitor of a Minolta X-300. And first of all, why would you want to change the capacitor of a Minolta X-300? Basically because the camera doesn't function anymore. However, the first thing to do before changing the capacitor is that you will want to drop some alcohol inside of this, that's the closing cavity for the battery, because very often there is some oxidation that you will not see, but it will prevent the juice from the battery to go inside of the camera, and that may be the only thing that your camera needs. However, in this case, for this camera, even if I put fresh batteries in it, unfortunately, that's not the problem of this one. I didn't open the... Sorry. Closing it. I didn't open the lower part yet, but as you can see, the mirror is stuck up, and even if you turn it on, it doesn't react. If I look inside of the viewfinder, when I turn it on, the meter is reacting, it's showing up, and when I try to push, it's turning off. And one interesting thing is that if I put it in the self-timer and I try to play it, it works. So basically everything works except that something is preventing the camera to just shut, which is very likely the capacitor. So we are going to change it today. So first thing that you will want to do is that you want to get rid of any batteries inside. So we'll remove the one I just installed. You will also remove every accessories that you have, because this will involve like soldering iron, so you don't want to have things on the way, so make it as easy as possible to work on. So in this case, I have a strap which I will remove. Advise you to do the same if you have any case or anything, or like even the lens, especially the lens, because it will be on the way. When you will work, just remove it. You don't need that on the way. That's not a complicated job, but you don't want to make it more complicated than it already is. Okay, so now we are free from this. What will you need basically? So first of all, you will need a new capacitor. So 4 volts, 220 UF, 6 by 5 millimeter. Don't take bigger one by this, because if you take bigger one than this, it may not fit inside of the cavity. So 4 volt, 220 UF, that's what you need, and take good ones made in Japan. Those ones are imported from Japan, so that's what I'm going to use. Secondly, you will need a soldering iron, so here, and you will obviously need the wires that got with it. Secondly, you may need some flux. So flux is something that you will put on the old soldering iron, because these ones are like 40 years old, 50 years old. So they may have some corrosion that will not help to make it melt with the soldering iron. So this makes it easier. It's not mandatory, but it's likely that you will need it. I will use it here. You will also want to have a small brush. If you have some oxidation, you will want to wash it. If you have some IPS, so the isopropyl alcohol, 99%, that will be good, because for the same reason, we may want to clean some stuff inside and have some cotton swab at your disposal, so it's easier to use the alcohol. So first thing first, you will need a small screwdriver, obviously, to open the lower part. So you will want to open the lower cavity of your camera. Okay, keep your screws well, don't lose them, because you will obviously need them. So there is one on the down, one on the part, and two in the middle. The two on the middle are shorter, so obviously you will put them back in the good position, don't reverse them, so just remember that. Shorter, you go, middle. So here we are. We'll now open the camera. So the guide that we want to change is this one. So this camera is very clean, there is no corrosion or nothing at all. So if you have some corrosion, if you can see some, just put some isopropyl alcohol on a cotton swab, go with it on the corrosion, try to clean it a bit, avoid the cables, because the alcohol can react with them, but just like clean a bit. And you can also like do it with your small brush, so that you can remove the corrosion. That's not a necessity, but that's a good thing to do. I will just put something here because I want to make it more stable. That's easier to work on. I advise you to do the same, find something just to make it like stay flat, you know. So you will take your new capacitor. One thing to be careful is that the capacitor have a certain polarity, so negative and positive. You basically have a white stripe. If you want to focus, there is a white stripe that is on one side. The white stripe goes on the left inside of your camera. So white stripe, left, don't put it reverse. So I will take this guy, remove it from here. Okay, so I don't need you anymore. I will remove the previous one and I will use it as an indicator of size for the size of the legs of my new capacitor. So first thing, I will make my iron being hot, and I will add, as I said, a tad of flux on this one, even though they look very clean. The point is just to make it easier. Like, you don't necessarily need it, but that's much easier. I was struggling with the first one I did, and thanks to the flux it went very smoothly. Just give me a second, just opening the flux. So not too much, because after that's a bit a mess to clean, just a little bit. So that's coming out. I'll put a bit of flux on it and a bit of flux on this one. Okay, that will make it easier. So now I will heat my soldering iron, and what I will want to do is that, well, I will need it to be hot, obviously, but I will also add a bit of the soldering on it, because it will make it easier. It will melt the old soldering with the new soldering, and it basically changed the capacity to be a bit easier to work with. Remember that you need to have a clean soldering iron, so work with a clean one, clean it before if it's not the case. And for now we wait. So it turns green mine, but I like to see it smoke slightly. When it's really smoking slightly, it means that it's really hot, so I will be waiting for this one. It takes some seconds more. I can't tell you the exact temperatures, to be honest, because I just use this one that has a one temperature, and I'm not sure of it. So what I'll do is that I will just melt a bit of it on top of it, so it's here. And I will take a small tweezer, and I will go for it. Okay. You will take care, because you don't want to stay long on it. That's a very sensitive circuit. So here it is. Okay, so I removed the previous one. The previous one is here. And as you can see, there is also a white stripe, as I told you. So the white stripe goes on the left when the lens opening is in front of you. Don't put it reverse once again. So that's the old one. I put it here just for reference of the length of the legs, and this one. And I will cut the legs approximately the same. As you can see, the new one is smaller. That's the point of having the 5x6. This one is exactly fitting in the space. That's more difficult to work with. So a 5x6 is the perfect size that you want to work with here. So I'll just hold it both. It's approximately this. So one leg is off, two legs is off. So now I have my capacitor that is right here. Again, remember the white stripe goes on the left. So I will put it here against my soldering. Actually, this one has a, like, just open slightly the legs so it aligns, it's easier. This soldering looks very clean. The one that there was before, there was no corrosion, so I will just reuse it mostly. I will add a bit of it in my soldering iron, but it's very clean. If the one that you have is with a lot of corrosion, clean it well and just basically put some more fresh soldering. That's easier to work with, because the old one may not melt. So second, we'll make it hot again. I will do the exact same process, and now I'll fix it again. So now the point is that you want to keep it in position. I believe in myself that I can do it without holding the capacitor, but that may not be the case, so we'll see. If you have someone that can hold it, or if you have a tool that allows you to hold it, that's obviously better, because you don't want it to move into different positions. Actually, I'm a bit overconfident here. I will just use a tweezer. That's 1, that's 2. Okay. So now that's in position. It's not moving anymore. As you can see, I have a ball. This one could be prettier, but it will hold perfectly. And you want to do it fast because you don't want to burn the circuit. So 1, 2, and now let's see if the camera is working better. Hopefully that's the only fix that needed this camera, because just bought it as is, so I'm not too sure. Seems like this one have another problem because we still have the same issue, sadly. All right, that's a sad story here. Okay, I may have just solved it because, okay, that's the timer. Yay, here we go. Okay, so it was just slightly sticked on this side as well. So actually it needed a new capacitor and it needed to have just a small move on the curtain, which need to be done very carefully because that's a very sensitive part. Okay, so now what we'll do is that we'll just close this back. We have our new capacitor. I'm happy. I have my working camera. So obviously you'll just put back the screws. As a reminder, small screws in the middle. So small screws in the middle, big screws on the side, and happy day for this camera. That's the same thing for the X-500. That's also very similar for the X-700, except that the X-700 has a second one capacitor that is on the top, and it's a bit more difficult to reach, but the process is the same once you reached it. So if you have a X-700, you can start with this one, the lower one, and hopefully that solves your problem if the second one is not making any issue, because the second one is a more difficult job. So if you can just turn this one and make it work. Back to live camera. Happy day. Have a good day, guys.